On 102.4 FM, across Rotherham, online, on your mobile, and on your smart speaker. This is Redroad FM.
Listeners, it's Redroad FM tonight from 7 p.m. Hobson's Choice. I'm so excited to have the next guest feature on the show, responsible for one of my all-time favourite songs as well. It's Eagle Eye Cherry. How are you doing? Thank you ever so much for joining us.
It's good to be here. It's fun to have new music out and to communicate with the world after a year of lockdown.
That is, yeah, definitely. It's so good that things are seeming a little bit more normal now, isn't it? Like life's resuming, which is great because obviously, especially for the music industry as well, live shows starting again. I bet you're just excited as well to get on the road, aren't you?
Oh, believe me. I was lucky because I just finished the tour off of the last album right before the lockdown. So I've done a year and a half of touring. The plan was to write and record. So I haven't been hit as hard as a lot of other people who had to cancel tours and all that. So I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, I guess that's a nice way of looking at it, that it was kind of pre-planned to have a bit of time off anyways, but again,
well, not this much time, thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, yeah, we don't need that much time indoors, do we?
Exactly, but it feels good now to see the light at the end of the tunnel after such an incredibly bizarre and hard time. And luckily, I haven't lost any close people, but a lot of people have. It's been really heavy.
It has. It's been the last, 15 months. It was when we went into lockdown in the UK in March. So the last 15 months has been, quite extraordinary, really, and something that we, would never thought we'd ever experience in our lifetime. So it's, it's been one pretty up and down 12, 15 months, hasn't it?
It sure has.
But we're gonna.
This new song, I like it. I'm singing about the days when I was living back in Brooklyn and I had my first apartment and life was all about a party. I was just focused on hanging out with my friends and having a wild time. And then you'd wake up the next morning and you'd feel horrible. And then all you wanted to do was get back out there and see your friends again.
Yeah.
And now I think in a way, what I'm talking about in that song is what everyone's dying to do, is to just get out and hang out with friends, go to concerts, have a good time. And that's what we're going to be celebrating now, I think, for the not too far distant future.
Yeah, no, the latest single, I was going to obviously come to that, is brilliant. I absolutely love it. And obviously I saw the post as well that went with it on Facebook, and you mentioned the song is about, having those great times with friends and such, and that there's no consequences with it. And I guess, is that on the back of almost because of the last year that we've had, is this a song that you felt was just the right time to kind of, drop, really?
It just kind of happened that way because I recorded the song right after we got off the tour. So I wanted to just get that live energy. And then the lockdown came. So in a way, the tune has kind of evolved into something else. And so the plan was to release this song. But then when I was listening to it now, I was like, wow, yeah, I think people can really relate to what I'm talking about in this song. So it's just kind of ended up that way.
Yeah, how's the reaction been as well? Because, like I said, I love it. I think it's really, really great. But how has the reaction been?
Oh, it's been great. It's been so much fun, and it's such a great hook. I like it. So, I've been getting a lot of that from people, and it's nice to hear. Even if you're just saying the title of the song, I get to hear someone say, "I like it."
It's a good trademark.
Yeah, I think we're working on some T-shirts and stuff. But
yeah, amazing. Got to be done. Is this the start of then what will be eventually a new album?
Yeah, and I got quite a few songs with the same kind of vibe. And I've also, because of the lockdown, I've been writing a lot of other stuff that I wasn't really planning on putting on the album. Now I get to sit through all these songs, figure out who's going to be a contender. But I think we're going to wait a bit with dropping the album. I'd like to be able to tour along with the album. So I think we'll write out the summer with I Like It, and then drop another single after the summer. And then I think the album will drop beginning of 2022 when I can start touring.
Yeah, I can't wait, because I say the last album was 2018, 2019, the last album that you released. There's been good couple of years in between that. So is the time that you've had to, work on the music as well, obviously with lockdown, did lockdown in a way help you kind of like reflect and look back and think, well, moving forward, I want to do something different or something, just something new, more experimental. Sorry.
I think we've all had to reflect and been forced to kind of reassess life and what it's all about. So for me, I think that what happened is because I wrote all this other stuff and I started kind of getting a little bit more into playing around with the production, because usually I make kind of basic demos, play it up for the band, and then we play it in the studio and do it live. So now I've kind of been sitting there tinkering and discovering different things. So we'll see if that stuff ends up on this album or if that's going to be the next one. But I kind of started veering off into a different sound.
Yeah.
But it's been quite an interesting period, and it's been going through all these different waves of being really creative and then having periods of not at all being inspired whatsoever, and then music I've been making over the last 18 months.
No, it's like I say, it's all. I'm all for it, anyways. I'm very excited to hear what's going to be featuring on what potentially could be on this new album. What's next after? Because as I said at the start of the interview, sorry, the obviously responsible for one of my all-time favorite songs, which I'm sure you hear it all the time with obviously Save Tonight from 1998's Desireless, which is a huge album. You sometimes think like, how is it sometimes a little bit like surreal, sorry, that the song Save Tonight, for example, is like still huge today, or still like it means so much to so many different people?
It's I think every songwriter's dream is to have a song that stands the test of time, and I am so thankful to have one of those tunes, and I'm hoping, Save Tonight might even live longer than I will. And it's great to have a song, because I think also lyrically that song, people can really relate to it, and everyone has kind of a story in their life that song talks to. So that's kind of, I think, what you hope to do when you write a song, is to write something that people can really take to heart and make part of their life. And I've done that. And it's only 4 chords, so it's that tune where people learning how to play the guitar. Save Tonight is one of the first songs people learn. I've heard that so many times. And that's kind of how it was when I wrote that song. I was just getting into, I was more a drummer first, and then I started getting to songwriting. So I was just kind of trying to figure the guitar out, figure those 4 chords out. I didn't even think of writing a middle 8 or anything, and just wrote those chords from beginning to end. And I love it.
And it's still massive today, and I absolutely say I love it. I'm always, any excuse to play it on the show, I'm all for doing that. I say so. Just I have to ask, because like it's one of my all-time favorite songs, and so many people. I mean, I imagine, say, when you play it live as well, everyone just goes nuts for that track. But I also think as well that tracks like I Like It, that as well will sound tremendous live as well. So I'm looking forward to more potential UK dates when you can get over here.
Yeah, I can't wait. And I Like It. Like I said, I kind of came off a tour, and that tune came to me. And I think that's what happens, because you kind of playing your gigs and you kind of feeling, oh, I need a song like that. And the minute we started playing it in the studio, I was like, oh, this is going to be beautiful to play live. So I really look forward to getting on the road, and getting to the UK will be fantastic. And I have family that live there, so it's always fun to come and have them there. Maybe get somebody to come up on stage and be a guest,
that'd be amazing. So I really look forward to it, because I think when you last spoke to Redroad FM, it was back in 2019 when you were playing Sheffield Corporation, I believe it was. I have to ask, how was the show when you played in Sheffield? Did you get a nice northern welcome?
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't been to the UK in a really long time, because even though I had a long gap in releasing music, I still went out on tour every now and then, but it would mostly be Europe. I go to a lot to South America, especially Brazil. I hadn't been to the UK, so I didn't know what to expect, and I was pleasantly surprised. Really good vibes.
Great stuff. We Northerners love a good gig. Any excuse to go out and sing us hearts out, we're all for it. And I'm glad you had a good time with that. And just looking, obviously, we've already touched upon obviously plans for 2021 with looking at releasing another single, keep working on the album. Are we looking at getting any dates across Europe or back home?
I don't think ever in the history of music has so many bands wanted to get out on the road at the same time. So it's going to be a traffic jam out there. So yeah, so it's logistically, it's about right now just figuring out where we can go and not go. So in my mind, I think the best plan is to just start planning for 2022, and then maybe do a few little gigs or maybe some acoustic gigs or something like that, 2021. But I don't think I'm going to do a proper tour until next year.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely, and those intimate shows as well, they were also brilliant. Like, I love a good acoustic set, so I'm sure that they'll be absolutely brilliant. Just, you know, kind of have, whether it's, you know, limited capacity or anything like that, you know, you're going to get a great show. So yeah, that sounds great, man.
Looking forward.
Well, again, thank you ever so much for talking about the new single, talking about obviously one of my favorite songs as well. I have to ask at the end, because I always ask guests a bit of a fun question, so I'm kind of putting you on the spot. But if you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Ooh, I would want to. I'd like to be able to fly.
Fly, yeah,
Go up in the sky like Superman.
yeah.
That would definitely be the one. And grab some beautiful lady that, you know, like he does, and go flying.
That's great. I love it. Yeah, flying is the great option. Plus, it beats walking. So
Exactly.
well, thank you ever so much again for the chat. I've really loved speaking to you. It's been amazing, and the latest single is brilliant. And looking forward to spinning it on the show as soon as this interview ends.
Thank you for having me. It's been great.
Cheers.